What's up, kid? Hector Rico here, and today I'm going to ask you, don't put your wagons before your horses. I've got a lot of stories to tell, and you're just going to have to listen. Like I said, don't put your wagons before your horses. Just be patient with me. I got a lot to say, and it's all kind of important, okay? Depending on what part of the country I was in, I could have been in, let's say, the southwestern states, right? And when I had my long hair before I cut it, people like the Native American community would welcome me with open arms. They'd be like, "Hey, look, this guy's a native too." But they knew I wasn't from there. I was like, "No, I'm from Texas." Oh, okay, makes sense. And but yeah, they knew I was one of them. And then if I was in like the Northeast states, there's a lot of Native Americans over there too in the Northeast. Oh man, I love Boston. I love Massachusetts in general. And like out of all the northeastern states, I love Massachusetts. I spent a lot of time in Pennsylvania. Um, there's where it gets kind of weird. But Native Americans over there, they know I'm a Native American. But when I had my Jewfro, the Jewish people over there recognized me as Jewish. Makes sense, huh? But the main thing they really laugh about in New York and over there in the Northeast states, as soon as I tell them I'm a Texan, they kind of start like not necessarily holding in their laughter, but they just got to know certain questions. They got to know certain answers, and they will ask me some stupid questions about some stuff. And I guess that's how the media portrays Texans over there. And they're asking me about that Ford versus Ferrari movie. I'm like, dude, Carroll Shelby was probably like one of my favorite race car drivers. Don't make fun of that movie. You don't want to trigger me with that, pal. But yeah, here and there, like every now and then here in Texas, I would meet somebody named Shelby, and I asked him, "Hey man, are you named after Carroll Shelby?" And he's like, "Yep." How'd you know? I was like, "I know." I'm saying all this because even though I tell all these jokes and stuff, I'm actually going to talk about just racism today. And I'm not trying to trigger anybody. I'm just telling stories. I mean, it's just the country's becoming more and more divided every couple days, every couple weeks. So I just started watching Yellowstone. I'm really getting into it. And I know this is one character in particular that I'm here to say it wasn't fiction. I actually met a woman very similar to Beth Dutton a long time ago when I was like about 21 or so. And if I could sum it all up, if I could just like tell the story with as few words as possible, I'm going to try. So this was like around Christmas time in downtown San Antonio, and clearly this woman was not from here. I mean, you could hear her accent. It's got like New Yorker written all over it. And let's see here. Oh boy, time to own up to some stuff. I was 21 years old. I could laugh at this now because I was the complete opposite back then. I hate to admit it, but around that age, I was completely blue-pilled. And I was really needy. I was really awkward. And I was really touch-starved. And here's the crazy part. I was like, they call it stir-crazy. Okay? Stir-crazy means you haven't seen a woman in so long, any of them look pretty. It happens to like prisoners and people who went to the military. All right? So there's like a bad cocktail of things. Let's see here. This was like way before way before smartphones. Smartphones didn't really come in until about 2009. Because I remember Barack Obama had that BlackBerry phone. He was really famous for that. And it might sound kind of weird, but Barack Obama really launched like Facebook because he ran his whole campaign from Facebook. So that's why it got really famous. Long story short, just like the real life just like the Beth Dutton you see on TV, the Beth Dutton I met took one drink of a cocktail, just one glass, was all it took to make her stupid drunk. And let's see here. And just like in the show Yellowstone, this woman got stupid drunk and all hell broke loose. And I'm surprised I'm alive to tell about it because somebody pulled a knife on us. So this is what happened. She drank that stupid drink and decided it's an okay idea to just start having as many crazy freaking mood swings as possible. One minute she's freaking, oh yeah, and guess what? She went like on such a racist tirade, just so many racist things were coming out of her mouth. One minute she was having a mood swing. I'd rather not tell you what she was telling me, but then the next minute she's freaking leaning all over me, trying to pronounce as many Spanish words as possible. And then the next minute, she's just yanking on me all violently all over my shoulders and this and that. And everybody was just watching. They're like, what is going on there? And a lot of the racist things she said, I could say, out of all the racist stuff she was saying, and it was just getting more and more out of line. People were throwing stuff at her. And sooner or later, the guy pulled a knife on us. And exit stage left. Man, I had to sneak out of there. I didn't care what happened next. Some other security guards got the guy with the knife, and they got her and threw her out. And I was like, and they knew who I was. I was like, look, I'm going in that direction. Make sure she stays over here. I don't want nothing to do with this anymore. And let's see here. Out of all the racist things that she said to me, the one that still kind of echoes in my head, she asked me point blank, all angry and racist, so when's the last time, no, she said something like, basically to that effect, she said, when was the last time you saw a Mexican man out in public with a white woman? And that question just always, it always just stuck with me, you know? After a while, I just stopped noticing. And today, I was at some Mexican restaurant, and there was this kid there. He was maybe like college age, like community college, maybe like early 20s. And I asked him, how long have you been working here? And he said, yeah, about a good year. And I said, I asked him that question. I wasn't trying to guilt trip him or anything. I was like, when's the last time you saw a Mexican guy with a white woman? You know? Like having like a healthy relationship. And he said the same thing I said. He said, I'll see a Mexican woman with a white guy, but never a Mexican man out in public with a white girl. And I don't necessarily see anything wrong with that. I mean, how many of you guys remember Richard Pryor? I mean, you knew what his sense of humor was. And he married the same white woman twice, I think. And Richard was black, his wife was white. And one thing that always stood out to me was like she says that because of his stand-up comedy, they'll see him out in the streets or they recognize it from a magazine or something, and everybody points at her and calls her White Honky B. And I guess Richard had to make a joke to kind of tell people, like, stop doing that. It's not like she's saying anything racist back to them. But there's always going to be like that. There's always going to be a double standard with the sexes. There's always going to be like this other. I don't know if you're going to call it a double standard with races either, but it's there. You know? The one that I'll always remember was that movie Reservoir Dogs, where there's a scene where they're all in the car just driving around, just yapping, and they have to bring it up. They're like this. They see like a black couple, a man and a woman, then they see like it's like a black man with a white woman, and they say the truth. They're like, look, what a black woman puts up with, that white woman would never put up with it for a moment, because it's true. And I got two friends. I had three, but one of them got murked by his white live-in girlfriend. One of them got divorced by a white woman. The other one, all three of these men are Mexican, by the way. The other one has children with a white woman, and she's always just playing games with him and the kids. And it's just like, you can't not notice that. You know what I mean? And my two friends who remain alive, they're going to be suffering for years to come because of all that stuff. So it's like, sometimes you're just backed up into the corner, and all you could do is just tap out, take the L, and move on, get ready for the next MMA fight. And just cut your losses and leave it all in the past. Like, that Beth Dutton character that I met, none of that crap would happen nowadays, you know. But you're allowed to be young and stupid once. Doesn't matter who it is, pal. I'm giving you words of the wise. Never let anyone make you question your own self-worth over your race, your religion, your gender, your income, none of that. Don't question your own self-worth. Get out of there. Okay? No one ever really wanted me around. I could remember I never really fit in anywhere. I never really had a home. When I remember one time I was at this one synagogue and they saw me speaking all perfect Hebrew, and everybody's just looking at me like, where's this coming from? And then they see like how Mexican I am. And then, don't ask me how this happened, but there was this Jewish lady who was like all white complected. And like I said, don't ask me how it happened because I don't remember how it happened. But she's there holding my hand. And then this old Jewish couple sneaks up behind me. The guy puts his hand on my shoulder. We're about to say a prayer. Basically, let her go, which I did out of respect for my elders. Okay? I can't stop watching this Yellowstone show. And every time I do, it just really, it'll make you think, it'll make you offended. But it's really got me on edge, like seeing how divided this country really is now. You know? And I can't put it down. As a trucker, you don't want to spend too much time in the truck stops. Because the men there, they're all up in their feminine energy. What happens a lot of the times, they try to have just a normal discussion. But then one of them snaps and gets all offended, and he's putting his finger in someone's face, yelling about what he thinks the root cause of all the problems are in this country. And you just gotta let it, like, ride him out, like, just let him yell. Sooner or later, he'll calm down. I was in New York this one time, and it was a white man, and we got along just perfect. And I asked him, no, and one of the main reasons we got along is because we both had a mutual hatred for Jon Stewart and Stephen Colbert. Neither one of us could stand any of this lefty liberal stuff. And he said that he was surprised, and I already knew what he was referring to. He's like, why is it that you're just listening? I was like, if you're a good listener, you're a good talker. But sometimes you gotta listen. Really listen. I was like, why do I need to voice an opinion? I'm listening to you, man. I want to hear your New York opinion. As a trucker, you don't really get to talk too much. You seem friendly enough. Just listen. I've known a lot of, I call them the coconuts. They're brown on the outside, but they're white on the inside. Some Mexican dude or some girl that went to college and they got this weird ego trip. Then they got this white collar job. And it's like, it reminds me of that night that I'm telling you that I met that Beth Dutton woman. Sooner or later, you're going to get that Mexican wake-up call. Wake up, Mexican. And you're going to realize that racism is real. It sure is. And there's a lot of things you have no control over. Just worry about the stuff you can control. Okay? You're not going to get into every fight you want to get into. You're not going to date every girl you want to date. Just let it go, man. Just let it go. But yeah, man, just this TV show really messes with my head, I swear. That was like, it reminded me of why I stopped watching TV and movies and stuff, you know. I don't really mess around with modern day stuff, I don't. And, but in a way, I'm kind of glad. Maybe I needed to find this show and start watching it. Yeah. But yeah, send some prayers out for me, man, because sooner or later I plan on going back to trucking again. I just really miss trucking, man. I really do. So yeah, don't forget to hit like, comment, share, and subscribe. God bless you all.